Singer, songwriter, fashionista, and now Katy Perry can almost call herself an astronaut when she blasts off on Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft tomorrow from Texas. 6 women on board that flight.
I'm going to space on a rocket in a capsule called Tortoise. And my mom calls me Tortoise.
Okay, I'm going to show you the capsule that we have been training in for the last few days.
Command engine start. Lift off.
Dick,
Yeah.
take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Got it? 1, 2, 3, taking up space! Okay.
Katie!
Have you ever noticed how celebrities will do absolutely anything for attention these days? Even if it means pretending to be something they're not? Well, Katy Perry and her elite friends just gave us the perfect example when they tried convincing the world they're actual astronauts. The truth behind their space adventure is far more embarrassing than anyone realized. Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' rocket company, recently sent Katy Perry and a group of wealthy female celebrities into what they called space on their distinctively phallic-shaped rocket. The flight was heavily promoted as some groundbreaking feminist achievement, with media outlets gushing about the first all-female crew to reach space on a commercial flight. But looking beyond the carefully crafted PR, this supposed triumph quickly falls apart. These women wore matching blue jumpsuits that made them look more like tourists on a Disney cruise than actual space explorers. They weren't piloting anything, conducting experiments, or contributing to science in any meaningful way. They were simply passengers, very expensive human cargo on an automated flight.
All of them were they? You think they were like prepared to die? No.
Katy Perry was prepared to die.
Yeah,
That's why she
in
brought
her
the daisy.
eyes, something's off.
She looked like a soldier.
Something's off.
What's even more revealing is that these celebrities can't even officially call themselves astronauts, no matter how much they want to. The Federal Aviation Administration made this crystal clear. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy stated, "Crew members who travel into space must have demonstrated activities during flight that were essential to public safety or contributed to human spaceflight safety." In other words, floating around for a few minutes taking selfies doesn't qualify you for the title that actual astronauts train years to earn. This is essentially wealthy celebrities culturally appropriating the identity of real space pioneers who risk their lives advancing human knowledge. The footage released from inside the capsule raised serious questions about the authenticity of their space experience. Most telling was Katy Perry's hair, a detail that space enthusiasts immediately noticed. In genuine zero gravity, an astronaut's hair floats wildly in all directions, creating that iconic space hair look we've all seen from the International Space Station. But Perry's hair? It looked suspiciously like she just got a blowout at a luxury salon. It moved as if affected by normal Earth gravity or perhaps just some light wind, nothing like the unmistakable floating effect of true microgravity. This discrepancy alone had people questioning what really happened during this highly publicized flight.
No.
Better?
Yeah. I don't think you can describe it. Because, you know what I was saying? It was like quiet, but then also really alive. And you look at it and you're like, we're all in this together.
Adding fuel to the conspiracy theories, a strange photograph circulated showing what appeared to be a plastic mannequin hand inside the Blue Origin capsule. While this particular image was eventually traced back to a 2017 test flight, not the actual celebrity mission, it highlighted how closely people were scrutinizing every aspect of this publicity stunt. The public wasn't buying the carefully crafted narrative, and they were right to be skeptical. When you have to work this hard to convince people your achievement is legitimate, maybe it's because it isn't as impressive as you're making it out to be.
Now you are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love.
Perhaps the most damning evidence that something wasn't right came when the capsule returned to Earth. Anyone familiar with genuine space missions knows that when spacecraft re-enter Earth's atmosphere, they experience extreme temperatures that leave the exterior scorched and blackened. Yet mysteriously, Blue Origin's capsule returned looking pristine, without a single burn mark or sign of atmospheric re-entry. Compare this to actual space capsules from NASA or SpaceX missions, which return looking like charred marshmallows after their fiery descent through the atmosphere. The difference couldn't be more obvious. It's like comparing someone who actually ran a marathon to someone who drove the route in an air-conditioned car and still wants the medal.
It'll never be the same. I mean, when you get up there and you see the Earth, and it's so beautiful, and it just fills the screen, and it's not just your window, it's like everybody's window, and there's no boundaries, there's no border, there's just Earth.
The landing footage revealed another embarrassing moment that most media outlets conveniently ignored. As the pod descended to Earth, viewers could distinctly hear the brave astronauts shrieking in terror as the parachutes deployed. Not exactly the composed behavior you'd expect from people who supposedly just conquered the final frontier. The impact looked surprisingly rough for a group that included women in their 60s sitting in what appeared to be basic folding chairs. Real spacecraft have sophisticated impact absorption systems for a reason, but apparently those weren't necessary for this space journey. Capsule door situation added another layer of suspicion. On legitimate spacecraft, the doors are specially designed pressure-sealed hatches that require specific tools and procedures to open from the outside, a crucial safety feature. Yet remarkably, these celebrity astronauts were somehow able to open their door from the inside upon landing. Even more telling was the panicked reaction from ground crew, who can be seen frantically gesturing for them to close it again, likely because the premature opening disrupted the carefully staged official door opening that was planned for the cameras. This awkward moment accidentally revealed the theatrical nature of the entire production. So if they weren't actually in space, where did they go? Technical reality exposes the clever marketing deception. Blue Origin's flight briefly touched the Kármán line, the internationally recognized boundary of space at about 62 miles above Earth, but didn't go significantly beyond it. More importantly, they never achieved orbit. Real spaceflight involves reaching orbital velocity where a craft circles the Earth. This flight simply went up and came right back down like a fancy roller coaster. The weightlessness the passengers experienced wasn't true zero gravity from being in space. It was the same sensation you get at the peak of a roller coaster drop or in a plane during a steep descent. It's called free fall, and you don't need to leave Earth's atmosphere to experience it. Let's put this into perspective. Martha Stewart experienced essentially the same sensation on a special aircraft that creates brief periods of weightlessness by flying in parabolic arcs. These planes, sometimes called vomit comets, have been used for decades to train astronauts in film movie scenes. But Martha Stewart didn't call herself an astronaut afterward, because she understood the difference between a brief gravity-defying experience and actual spaceflight. The International Space Station, where real astronauts live and work, orbits approximately 250 miles above Earth, 4 times higher than where these celebrities briefly visited. NASA's astronauts undergo years of intense training, hold advanced scientific degrees, and conduct valuable research that advances human knowledge. Meanwhile, Perry and friends took selfies and floated a flower for a few minutes before returning to their champagne celebration on the ground. What's perhaps most revealing about this whole spectacle is what the celebrities actually did during their precious minutes of space travel. While the world's real astronauts conduct groundbreaking experiments, make repairs to critical equipment, and document Earth's changing climate from above, this elite group's biggest contribution was taking selfies with strained expressions and floating a single flower in the cabin. The footage they released showed nothing of scientific value, just self-congratulatory gestures that seemed designed for Instagram rather than the advancement of human knowledge. This entire episode perfectly encapsulates the hollow nature of modern celebrity culture. When genuine achievements become nothing more than purchasable experiences for the wealthy, the very concept of merit loses meaning. These weren't pioneers risking their lives to push human boundaries. They were privileged tourists buying bragging rights without earning them. The fact that Blue Origin and their PR team worked so hard to frame this as some kind of feminist triumph only makes it more transparent. What does this tell us about celebrity culture today? When wealthy elites can buy their way into experiences that simulate achievements without doing the actual work, what are we really celebrating? They weren't exploring uncharted territory or advancing science. They were purchasing an expensive thrill ride while asking us to treat them like heroes. Next time you see celebrities claiming extraordinary accomplishments, remember Katy Perry's hair that defied the laws of physics and ask yourself what might be happening behind the carefully constructed image you're being shown. The real heroes of space exploration aren't the ones who can afford a $250,000 ticket. They're the engineers, scientists, and genuine astronauts who dedicate their lives to expanding human knowledge and capabilities beyond our atmosphere. Maybe it's time we redirected our admiration toward those who actually earn it, rather than those who simply buy it.